TC. It is my honor and pleasure to welcome you to the annual State of the College. I'm happy to be back on campus in the Smith Learning Theater for today's event. It is hard to believe that just a year ago, the halls of the college were empty, and students like myself were uncertain if and when we would return to this physical campus. To look around today and see so many people back is uplifting. I want to express my gratitude to TC's leadership and the COVID-19 working group who have worked diligently to make this transition back to in-person learning a seamless one. Additionally, I also want to thank the staff and faculty for their consistent support during this transition. And I would like to recognize our amazing TC students. The commitment, resilience, and understanding the student body has shown reflects the amazing sense of community that we have here. As the Student Senate President, I'm fortunate enough to meet monthly with President Bailey and Provost Rowley to discuss the student experience. In these meetings, I've learned that President Bailey has visited my home country of Kenya and that Provost Rowley was a leader in the Black Student Network when she was an undergrad. However, my biggest takeaway from each meeting is how deeply they care about students and that they are consistently working on strategies to remove barriers and create opportunities to make our TC journey a valuable one. Their passion is shared by the members of the Student Senate. We have focused on advocacy that centers on specific student needs, such as health and wellness, equity and inclusion, and financial aid. Together, we have had the pleasure of engaging in thoughtful yet challenging conversations to take in all perspectives. I'm honored to lead the group as we work to uncover solutions together, especially as we continue to chart new territory as a community. Now it is my pleasure to introduce President Tom Bailey.
Thank you, Marion. The senior leadership team and I had the pleasure of catching up with Marion and other Student Senate leaders a few weeks ago for a virtual trivia game. As always, our TC students were so impressive and gracious. Great team players and great fun to be with. As tomorrow's leaders, they're already leading the way. So welcome, and hello to all of you. Thank you for joining us today and for your constant care for, involvement with, and support of Teachers College. I'm filled with inspiration and energy after the past 20 months because of the determination and drive shown by our TC community. You want to know the state of the college? We are back. We are stronger than ever. Our campus is vibrant once again. During each of our weekdays, when we have most of our classes, we have about 2,000 people on campus each day, learning, teaching, working, and growing. That's up from just 150 people on average over the summer. It has been invigorating to again engage with students, faculty, and staff in person and to see so much enthusiasm and excitement this semester in classes, in hallways, and across the campus. We look forward to welcoming even more of our students to campus this spring. Our summer enrollments beat our projections, and registered credits this fall are up 5% versus last year. On-campus occupancy, which has also exceeded our expectations, is at capacity for our COVID guidelines. These are testaments to the continued quality, reputation, and relevance of our programs, as well as the hard work of our faculty, students, and staff. Thanks to our enrollment and residency rates, along with some prudent management, we are on good financial footing with a sound budget for fiscal year 2022. In short, beyond merely weathering this difficult period, we are thriving. But getting to this point wasn't easy. We have all experienced such uncertainty, such distress, and such an upheaval to daily life. And through it all, you have stayed the course with grace and persistence. It's in times like these, when we are faced with an incredible challenge, that we learn the most. The pandemic has taught us invaluable lessons and teachings that are aligned with Teachers College's vision and priorities for the future. The work happening here on campus is of the utmost relevance because of the profound impact it makes in creating a smarter, healthier, and more equitable world. Impact and relevance have always been TC's calling cards. Time and again, during crisis and upheaval, the college has anticipated change and shaped new approaches to meet the challenges of the day. COVID has galvanized us to again play that role. The pandemic amplified the widening and long-standing inequities and challenges in our world, and with stark clarity reinforced where we need to be focusing our efforts. So, as we review the state of the college, I would like us to consider our strategic priorities and the excellent progress we are making in the context of the lessons we have learned from the pandemic. Lesson 1. As mentioned, COVID-19 has highlighted the inequities in our world today. We are seeing devastating repercussions from the health, social, education, and racial inequities affecting underrepresented populations, globally, nationwide, and in our own communities. Addressing these inequities begins here at TC, and that is why we are focusing on institutionalizing diversity, equity, and inclusion in all that we do. We want our programs, our research, and our graduates to serve as increasingly powerful catalysts for dismantling structural racism, bigotry, and health and education disparities. And in many ways, they are doing just that. For example, TC's Black Education Research Collective, led by Sonia Douglas Horsford, Professor of Education Leadership, recently received a $3.25 million grant, our largest ever from the New York City Council, to partner in developing an interdisciplinary K-12 Black Studies curriculum for the city's public schools. This work follows a major study by Professor Horsford, which measured the impact of the pandemic and systemic racism on Black students. The faculty are also advancing equity in the legal front. Thanks to litigation led by Michael Rebell, Professor of Law and Education Practice, New York State has agreed to provide $4.2 billion in long-owed funding to New York City schools over the next 3 years. In early November, a federal appeals court heard another suit led by Professor Rebell, which argued that all U.S. students must receive an education to effectively prepare them for citizenship. Professor Rebell's students have conducted important research for the latter case. Students have also been key players in ensuring that TC's own course offerings and the broader fields in which they are situated reflect a diverse range of cultural perspectives and concerns. In spring 2020, following the police killing of George Floyd, students in our school psychology program developed recommendations for incorporating more of a focus on racial and social justice in the curriculum, including frameworks such as minority stress theory. They also joined Prerna Arora, assistant professor of school psychology, to organize Decolonizing Psychology, a conference in 2021 that was dedicated to the same imperatives. More than 2,000 viewers tuned in live, and 15,000 in total have viewed the event. We are leveraging these harbingers of sea change through a broader strategy to diversify our faculty, staff, and student body. A working group led by Janice Robinson, Vice President for Diversity and Community Affairs, has developed a target of opportunity search process. The working group has also launched a series of inclusive faculty search training workshops and prompted the hiring of an Assistant Director of Diversity Initiatives in the Office of Admissions. Lesson 2. Teachers College has always been at the forefront of creating innovative solutions to anticipate the needs of subsequent generations. As we confront the greatest challenges of our time, we must continue to be bold and proactive, harnessing our ingenuity, our expertise, and momentum to solve problems of the future. This is why we must become an even more powerful engine for applied research. TC has received more than $12 million in grants and contracts over the past few months alone. And as I'll discuss momentarily, we are poised for growth. Our faculty continue to publish groundbreaking books and other publications to pioneer new directions in education, health, and psychology. As teachers and mentors, they inspire and collaborate with our talented students on research and in practice. And our thousands of alumni are making their marks as educators, policymakers, practitioners, and change makers in every field imaginable, as exemplified by our recent Distinguished Alumni Award winners. Work by individual faculty members and TC centers puts us in the forefront of addressing many current and future real-world challenges and inequities at all levels in society. For example, community colleges are a key gateway for America's low-income minority and immigrant students and are critical for our nation's success. The Guided Pathways framework developed by TC's Community College Research Center boosts student retention and completion at community colleges through personalized academic and career plans, advising, and support. It has been adopted by more than 400 community colleges nationwide. Gun violence, which has risen dramatically in the U.S., is taking a devastating psychological and emotional toll on youth caught in the crossfire. A new federally funded study of the impact of school gun violence on youth, conducted by Sonali Rajan, Associate Professor of Health Education, and colleagues here at TC and at Columbia's Mailman School of Public Health, could help to change that picture. Focusing attention on cyberbullying and mental health is crucial to ensure children are safely navigating technology and the internet. In a study in the October issue of Nature Human Behavior, TC's George Bonanno, Professor of Clinical Psychology, postdoctoral researcher Anne Kristen Haag, and co-authors reported that adolescent girls with a history of sexual abuse are more vulnerable to online cyberbullying. The study's findings could help inform targeted intervention strategies to help at-risk teen girls more safely navigate the internet. We are at a pivotal point in the race against climate change, and TC is collaborating in a $25 million National Science Foundation grant received by Columbia University to support a new climate modeling center. 3 TC faculty members, Oren Bismoni-Levy, Paolo Blixstein, and Charles Lang, are developing an innovative climate change education program for New York City's public schools. These are extraordinary contributions, but we want to equip all our faculty with the skills, resources, and information to obtain research funding. In her capacity as Vice Dean for Research, Carol Hammer has increased coordination and communication among several research-related offices and has expanded her team. TC's Institutional Review Board and Office of Sponsored Programs have also added new staff, speeding the pace of research proposals. Faculty have benefited from new grant writing workshops, boot camps, and webinars. As a result, TC has achieved a 20% increase this year in faculty applications for federal grants, our most important source of funding. Our third lesson: technology of the future is needed now. We must be a leader in digital innovation. Pandemic or not, the digital age has arrived, and digital technology and innovation are changing how we teach, learn, and shape education content. During the pandemic, TC's Center for Technology and School Change, directed by Ellen Meyer, Professor of Computing and Educational Practice, has supported teachers in New York City schools that collectively serve more than 5,000 students. The center's focus is on unleashing the creativity of teachers and students by situating technology-enhanced learning experiences in the context of their own lives and in the culture of the school and the community. Detra Price-Dennis, Associate Professor of Communication, Media, and Learning Technology Design, has worked extensively with the National Council of Teachers of English to help the organization's 35,000 members incorporate culturally responsive and anti-racist pedagogies when teaching online. She also served on their critical media literacy task force. Last year, under the leadership of Professor Lalitha Vasudevan, Vice Dean for Digital Innovation, we created the Digital Futures Institute, DFI, an interdisciplinary hub that seeks to advance education, equity, and social justice through pedagogy, research, and public engagement. Faculty affiliated with DFI have been exploring current issues in fields that include media literacy, the maker movement, and culturally responsive strategies for emergency remote instruction. DFI has sought to engage the public in thinking through new modes of learning and reflection, such as through the Institute's 5-part video series called Just One Thing, and the DFI podcast series, Pop and Play. Now DFI is leading a new project launched from my office that seeks to learn from our experiences with digital and hybrid instruction in the last 2 years and create a sustained conversation about teaching and learning. Called The Future of Teaching at TC, it will continuously reimagine and introduce pedagogically rich experiences for our students, drawing on the vast landscape of new media and digital technologies. Lesson 4. The pandemic further disrupted the higher education landscape. We must respond to shifting demand, enhance the student and faculty experience, and expand our impact by building the optimal academic organization. Certainly, we start from a place of strength. This past spring, the Association for Advancing Quality in Education Preparation granted us full 7-year accreditation for our education preparation programs with no recommendations for improvements. In fact, the college received an official commendation. And in October, the American Psychological Association Commission on Accreditation voted to reaffirm the accreditation of our PhD program in clinical psychology through 2031. We know that TC's many programs and multidisciplinary nature are strengths, but they can make the college difficult to manage. We are working to better define and articulate our mission to coordinate programs and eliminate redundancy and alleviate administrative burden. As a first step, we are strengthening the authority of department chairs and increasing their administrative support so they can take full responsibility for managing the programs within their departments. This is already yielding a more streamlined and effective process for enrollment planning. We also want to create an environment in which faculty can focus to the greatest extent possible on teaching, mentoring, and research. To that end, Provost Stephanie Rowley is working with chairs and program directors to better understand their scope of work and to review ideas for how to lessen the load of administrative responsibilities. For example, we are working to simplify the hiring process, which now absorbs excessive time and effort. And lastly, Lesson 5. Our students and graduates are the change the world so desperately needs. To ensure that they have the best opportunities to apply what they have learned here and to make the maximum impact, we must improve their pathways to success, both at TC and once they have launched their careers. Through a collaboration across the Division of Student Affairs, Enrollment Management, and Alumni Relations, we are creating a process to support students as they move from the application process through graduation and beyond. That journey begins with affordability. We want to ensure that the best, brightest, and most diverse range of students choose TC, unhindered by the cost of tuition or living in New York City. Financial aid enables students to focus on their studies, graduate with a minimum of debt, and devote their careers to public service. We are currently reassessing our financial aid practices, opportunities, and outcomes, and are planning to increase our focus on raising money to fund financial aid. We believe it's essential to establish a strong connection with students the moment they enter TC. Through Graduate Student Life and Development's redesigned New Student Orientation and Student Life Ambassador program, new arrivals are becoming quickly connected with TC's community and resources. We're also striving to be an exemplar for graduate student health and well-being. We're conducting wellness checks and offering short-term mental health counseling, referrals to therapists, and health workshops throughout the year. TC Next, our integrated career services office, launched in the summer of 2020, is the connective tissue uniting students and alumni with various sources of support as they navigate their professional pathways. This past year, TC Next added nearly 1,400 new job postings to the Career Resources Portal, representing 384 new employers. The office also served more than 2,000 alumni and added new staff to serve clients at different career stages. And our terrific new office space for TC Next opened earlier this fall. The examples I've shared today are only a tiny fraction of our accomplishments together and of our collective impact. I wish there were time to list them all, and I thank you, our communities thank you, for your contributions and dedication to this important work. And now I have one bonus lesson for you, perhaps the most important one of all. I have known this all along. We have seen that TC's people, our trustees, faculty, students, staff, and alumni, are our most important resource, and your engagements with one another are invaluable. While we officially celebrated our essential staff earlier this fall, it bears repeating that they have safeguarded our campus and preserved our community throughout the pandemic. Without them, there would have been no TC for us to return to. They are true heroes of this extraordinary period. Reopening our campus was no easy task. Our COVID-19 working group, co-chaired by Lisa Seals, Vice President for Administration, and Hank Perkowski, Vice President for Finance and Operations, established TC's health and safety protocols and adapted day-to-day procedures to enable our safe return to campus. We've had very few cases of COVID. Most have been detected in the gateway tests, and vaccination rates are 97%. Thank you to all of our working group members, to our essential staff, and to each and every one of you in our community, near and far, for your support, cooperation, and compliance. I also want to acknowledge two dear colleagues who have contributed immeasurably to TC and will soon be leaving us. Associate Vice President Nancy Strime will retire this month after 14 years at TC. She conceived, built, and led the Office of School and Community Partnerships. Nancy and OSCP have connected our faculty and students to countless opportunities for learning, service, and research, and greatly strengthened TC's relationship with our Harlem neighbors. And Michael Fearman, TC's General Counsel since 2017, will be retiring in July. Michael has served with distinction in providing legal advice, representing TC in litigation, administrative matters, and transactions, and retaining and overseeing outside counsel. Nancy and Michael, we are grateful for all you've done. You will be missed. A number of cherished faculty have recently retired or will retire at the end of the month. I am grateful for and humbled by their tremendous contributions, accomplishments, and years of dedication to their students and the college. At the same time, I want to recognize those who are taking on new responsibilities, particularly alumna Katie Embry, who in August became Vice President for Planning and Strategy and Chief of Staff. We're fortunate to add Katie's deep institutional knowledge and her 25 years of experience in academic and administrative affairs to our senior leadership team. On that note, I want to thank all of the members of our senior leadership team, our faculty, students, and staff for leading TC into the future. Through strong leadership and your dedication, perseverance, and resolve, Teachers College is indeed thriving. As you've heard me describe, during the past 20 months, the TC community has made an enormous investment in connecting with and caring for one another, in adapting and innovating. And that investment has yielded invaluable returns. Extraordinary work is happening here at Teachers College. And when you think of how much we can achieve if we execute against our key priorities, I think you will agree that our future is bright indeed. Every single one of us has an essential part to play in helping TC to build a smarter, healthier, and more equitable world. And I thank you all for all that you do every day to make this possible. I invite you to learn more about our strategic priorities on TC's website. Thank you again.